In a world where the UK faces threats from resurgent and developing powers, states and non-state actors, and a continuing threat from violent extremism, there is an undeniable requirement to transform at pace. The Royal Navy has arguably for many years set the bar in maintaining operational and technological advantage. However, this was only possible by constantly challenging daily norms, utilising emerging technology and striving to outthink our adversaries. The requirement has not changed, and so we must redouble our efforts in this space. By embracing integration, interchangeability and innovation, today's Royal Navy remains global, modern and ready. But we must do better if we are to continue to be relevant. So how do we deliver on the promise of transformation in the maritime domain? Maritime transformation requires a vision which is tempered with reality, but informed by the art of the possible and the science of the deliverable. But you need more than just a vision. Organisations are full of people who are either futurologists or individuals who deliver business as usual within a stable system. What the world is short of is people who are able to visualise the future, interpret what it means for them in the present, and then with confidence deliver that change within bureaucracies which tend to be self-reinforcing and highly disposed to not liking change. Certainly in our recent experience, the early stages revealed organisational inertia, where success depended heavily on constant communication to reinforce the message that we really do intend to achieve this, it will be okay, it's safe, and it's exciting to go on this journey together. What we have learned is that change at scale, even inside an organisation as complex as the Royal Navy, is possible and at a pace and scale that should be apparent. It's meaningful, it's happening now, it increasingly looks, feels and is different on the front line. We have a long way to go, but we've embarked on a journey and every day we try and accelerate the pace. To deliver a more thinking organisation, we need to take more risk, reward challenge, accept failure and be confident in the face of external naysayers. So what are the challenges and opportunities of dramatic technological change? The challenges of such change are well known. Many actors are embracing hybrid, below-the-threshold warfare in a way not seen on the international stage in the modern era. At the same time, there has also been a focus on nullifying the West's late 20th century supremacy in large-scale warfare, stealth, precision, range and high-tech weaponry. But perhaps the single greatest concern has been in our adversaries' capacity to embrace risk whilst accepting that they must focus on targeted areas to get the most value in order to achieve outcomes. Think nuclear-powered torpedoes, hypersonic maritime strike weapons, cyber bombs and weaponized drones in all environments. Put simply, their systems are driven by a competitive urge that historically we have failed to emulate outside of wartime. But at the same time, modern technology provides us with some huge opportunities. Technology itself is no longer the problem, no longer the constraining factor. The tech itself can solve just about anything. And whilst we might opine for the old days where the best technology came from defence outwards into the world, the fact that much of the best tech now comes from the civil sector into defence is an opportunity to be seized. We have so much more choice. The cost should be coming down, and by embracing the best of global tech acceleration, we should be able to get it faster to the hands of the warfighter than ever before. Whilst research is undoubtedly needed, we should focus on the development part of R&D to optimise our outcomes more rapidly at greater scale and lower cost. So how do we innovate in force design and in the whole operating model, whilst incorporating technology and data-driven integration, transforming agility and adopting new force integration? A new world requires a new approach, and as such we began at the top. What is good and bad about how we operate, command, lead, change and run our business? As a result, we have moved from a legacy model of stovepiped vertical activity to collective responsibility for all outputs. We are no longer about helicopter versus ship versus submarine versus marine. We are now all about outputs. Operational advantage in the North Atlantic, carrier strike, littoral strike and many more, all focused against well understood and ever-changing problem sets. But we have also recognised that critical to success in the modern world, we have to embrace best practice problem-solving techniques such as Scrum. We are now problem-led. We prioritise, we sprint, we deliver. At all levels we are transparent, optimise cross-functional teams to get initiatives done at speed and attempt to reduce friction by crushing systemic impediments to go faster. We are zooming out, looking at the bigger picture, and then we are zooming in. If you are not delivering a product inside 6 to 9 months, not the traditional defence 6 to 9 years, then you will struggle to get traction in the Royal Navy of today. You will simply be too slow to be relevant. We are learning by doing, we are showing not telling, and we are willing to fail fast. All powerful upgrades to how we go about our modern business. There are clearly exceptions to this in some of the long-term and large-scale projects we have, but they too must adapt to deliver faster and better, or we risk pricing ourselves out of the market. And the we in that statement is all of us here at this conference. So how do we take the concept of a balanced fleet and make it work? Well, a balanced fleet is not a new idea. Nelson had only 8 ships of HMS Victory stature and many more frigates and sloops. So the obvious conversation around a balanced fleet being sensible and affordable whilst providing enhanced global persistent engagement has its roots in history. The mix of high-end Type 26, mid-range Type 31 and lower-end but still highly capable Batch 2 offshore patrol vessels should be welcomed. And in the modern world with today's technology, small does not mean irrelevant or incapable. But it's about more than the platforms. As we drive towards a pan-Navy naval strike network, which incorporates a mix of lethal uncrewed vessels of increasingly larger size, we actually want a force mix that takes in the high-end force as well as the lower end, working towards a fully autonomous major warship in the next decade. But further, new technology allows us to become even more radical with a modular Navy pod approach. We have always sought modularity as the nirvana of capability flexibility, but have never been able to afford it. So rather than design modularity in, we have chosen to design it out. These pods will be bespoke containers housing new ways of delivery in mine hunting, survey, air systems, communications, lethality, medical and more. This means that all platforms have the ability to become upgradable with the arrival of a new pod. So what does all this mean? For the Royal Navy, integration means multi-domain integration. Our commando force is a new multi-domain operational capability spanning land, littoral, maritime, space and air domains, plus other government departments' activity, including several agencies. Interchangeability is so much more than interoperability. It means the seamless transfer of assets between our allies to achieve maximum operational effect. US F-35 jets on HMS Queen Elizabeth for CSG-21 is a timely example, but we can and should do more. Innovation means continuously challenging our today in order to remain ahead of tomorrow. We must continue to push the boundaries, be humble enough to get it wrong, embrace technology and innovate across every area of the Royal Navy, business and operations, in order to fight and win. From the seabed to space, from the Arctic to the Antarctic, a global Navy for a global Britain. Thank you.